Hello, everybody. Something feels like it's stuck in the back of the roof of my mouth. Yeah. Good grief already. ah. We have been having crazy weather lately. By that, I mean we've been going from like 60 to the teens, temperature-wise. And my sinuses have not been happy about this. But aside from that, how is everyone out there today? Oh, what looks like one of you. Hopefully this is not too loud. Hello, Lady Mage. And I keep telling you it's Higurashi. Higurashi. Not Haleishi. Higurashi. When they cry. I don't know how long I'm going to be playing this. And I don't just mean for the stream. I mean, I don't know how long in general I'm going to be playing this. Because I don't know anything about it. I don't know if it's actually any good. I just know it comes with very overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. And, yeah. And there are supposed to be horror elements to this. I don't know. But it seems like, you know. And had to do stupid adult legal stuff. Oh, yeah. I hate doing this stupid adult legal stuff. I've got paperwork I need to fill out that I haven't gotten to yet. And apparently, the town of Hinamizawa, apparently, I'm guessing that's a town, has a bunch of locusts, or cicadas, or something of that type, as we sure got a lot of that in the title screen. But yeah, I don't know anything about this game, so I don't know how well it'll hold my or anyone else's interest. But I've had it in my Steam library, and the overwhelmingly positive review, and the fact that this is supposed to be a visual novel, kind of seem like they fit in around here. So we're going to give them a try. So anyway, is everybody ready to quit the me babbling part and actually ready to hit start on this thing? Clear off the message on my phone. Okay. Higurashi! That sounds loud. Okay, welcome to the world of Higurashi when they cry. The Onikakushi arc will be the opening inviting you into this world. Don't play tough. Please just enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. The difficulty is high, but I hope you will enjoy the reward. And it laughs at us. This is a good start. Please do not lament. I will forgive you, even the world will not forgive you. Repeat, so please tell me, so what will it take for you to forgive me? From Frederica Bernkastel. I can't read the bit after. And it apparently just hit us in the head with a baseball bat. 15th year of the Showa era, 1983. If I was going to be ripped apart anyway, had my body ripped apart would have been far better. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even this very moment, I trust her. It would help if she'd stop hitting me with the baseball bat. Or the axe. But I started to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. That mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the cicadas remained, annoyingly loud. And yet, I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She's no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there was none to show. She had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why this pain my eyes being moist? Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough. And countless times I'd waver over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? How would we know? We don't know what you've been through yet. I'd feel better if I threw it away. Even knowing that, I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright just to take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind, with her. Like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm. Just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were. Because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last okay for you. Perhaps I really did love you. This has been Higurashi When They Cry, and we apparently just committed suicide via baseball bat. Achievement unlocked, farewell. Fair enough. Okay, menu. A lot of save files here. My best guess as to what happened, whoever the main character is, they just beat some poor girl to death and then killed themselves. So we had a murder-suicide going on. That's my best guess. I mean, I don't know. But, that seems pretty freaking likely. Anyway, somebody's been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads, the melodious cacophony of the crosswalk, even the campaign screeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks, and the cry of the Higurashi, the evening cicadas. Rather than making me feel lonely, that quietness has begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean where there aren't any burger joints. There aren't even vending machines. No music stores, no restaurants, and no arcades. Even an ice cream parlor would be unlikely. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors, but it wasn't like I ever hung out at any of them. I'd lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. Why not? I should have gone at least once. Yeah, you should have. Ice cream parlors kick ass. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody is still apologizing. Who is she apologizing to? She's apologized so much, just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing, even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then that's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. I do word good. Hey, you, the one she's apologizing to, why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice. Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up! I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. You know, I think this is going to be less sound of drop gone insane and more 999 going off the rails. I'm more so than it usually does. Something like that. Because like I said, this game was actually highly praised. So it's supposedly a good story. We'd spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window in the city I was in half a day ago were in the same country. Yeah, that they were even from the same era. From there, we'd take a car deeper into the mountains. See, we have the red morphogenic field and the blue morphogenic field. Past where the dense forest and encroaching on the mountainside suddenly opened up. Just out of curiosity. What do I have? Oh good, we had the allow skip unread text. Which is the one that lets me go into DR1 and save Ishii? See, the thing is, they both have an Ishii in them, but it's not guaranteed either one is the real Ishii. They both could be real Ishii, or they both could be false. There, where I live now. Hinamizawa. There is no green one. Did we just clear a chapter? I think we did. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although in exchange you could fill your lungs up with crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side, so I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath, and then coughed horribly because my throat's irritated to hell and back. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air had its own taste. You learn that when you go near the animal farm. Don't ask what it tastes like. You can probably guess. Suddenly, music! I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably up working there until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. This is Professor Layton-style music. Seriously, this sounds like it came straight out of a Layton game. Or maybe Rhythm Thief. I mean, I know it's because Rhythm Thief is set in France, and all Japanese music that is made to resemble France has accordions like this, but you know. It's such a laid-back profession. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I'm turning that down some more. It's not bad music, it's just getting a little loud. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. I'd never tell him that, though. Mom laid breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grills. Raw egg? Really? Ugh, no, bad idea. My mom was such a good cook, it was scary. Perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or effort. Your mom sounds boring. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today. I'm so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Keiichi. If I don't wake up early, I won't have time to eat breakfast. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. Full bowl of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on. First, I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. This actually does sound really good, except for the fact that the egg's raw. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, seaweed isn't there for taste or anything like that, but it does give it a texture. Not bad at all. Excellent, as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile. I'm so happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here, Keiichi. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning. That was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. Ooh, cram school. Not a thing in the US, but my God, I've heard stories. I guess that was what you'd call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look at the breakfast she woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I'd slap myself. Mindful of the time, Mom rushed me along with a wide grin. Isn't it about time to meet up with Rena-chan? Hurry, hurry! Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Did the school you were attending not have girls? Or is it just the fact that you're actually walking to school with someone of the opposite sex? I'm just curious here. Anyway. Excuse me. Yeah, some terrible throat things going on. Rena is one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. Are you 8? I'm just asking. Are you 8? Because I get the impression you were more high school age. But, well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Rena wait for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I reached for the door. Please thank Rena-chan for the pickles! Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I'd known that, I would have savored them a bit more. Morning! I do not have the voice to do multiple female voices today. I don't have it to do any day, but it's... My God, the art style. I know the story is they have multiple artists that worked on various elements of this game. But, yeah. Possibly 12, yeah. I'm getting the feeling that these are middle schoolers. So about that time, right around the puberty mark, Keiichi-kun, good morning. Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. She's so conscientious and such a good person. If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind, and oh my God, I just had Doki Doki Literature Club flashbacks. Excuse me a second, this is not related to that. Sorry about that, folks. Ooh. Just had a wicked bit of needing to sneeze and blow my nose and such. Ah. Keiichi-kun, you're so cold. I wait for you all the time. I'll leave you in the dust. Without looking back. Why are you so mean? Why? Rena had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. I'm kidding, I'd wait for you. With those words, Rena seemed to relax. Her face flushed bright red. Thank you, Baka. I'd wait forever until you came, Rena. No matter how long. Forever? You drew that out really weirdly. Yeah, killing someone seems very likely for this protagonist. Rena turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. God damn it. We are this guy acts exactly the same as, the dude from Doki Doki Literature Club acts towards Sayori. He does. And I'm not liking where that may go. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. I don't know if she is 12. I don't know if she's 12, but, you know. If they're high school, they may be closer to 16. Have you ever read a romance novel, Rena? Huh? I haven't. I've never read any before. From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh yeah, message from Mom. She says thanks for the pickles. It was nothing. You're welcome. How were they? Not too salty? They weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty light flavor to them. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. I'd like to ask something before that. Were you the one who pickled them, Rena? Or was it your mom? Huh? Why do you ask? Were they too salty? Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Dude, seriously, what the hell? Seriously, what are you... Come on, man! What is it with games like this and having the protagonist that likes to torture the childhood friend in some fashion? What is it with that? Why is that a trope? Was it you, Rena? Or was it your mom? Well, why are you asking who made them? Why? Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. Yeah, this dude's an ass. I'm thinking chainsaw to the face. Chainsaw to the face, chainsaw to the face. Huh? She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she'd used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself from being a complete and total jackass. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. At least he's self-aware. Guys like me. Rena nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response. It was me. Delicious. Huh? Pretty good, just like the last ones. They went perfectly with the rice. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Rena never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Except me. Keep at it, Rena. I'll train you until you handle it like the average person. Or so I decided for myself. Let's go. If we keep Mion waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she just keeps spacing out otherwise, I called Rena back to reality so we can make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Rena Ryugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. That's a strange name? I mean, I don't see too many names in English that have two U's together, but in Japanese, I don't think it's that weird. Why is that a weird name? Mi-chan, good morning! Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Ah, finally, you two are late! Yeah, we're definitely past the puberty point now. Usually, you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Rena, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. Is she smuggling... Yeah. I don't know if those are balloons. She's Mion Sonozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Rena, and it's been a while, Keiichi. Nerf balls. Yeah, Nerf balls. She's got Nerf softballs. How many years? I was only off 2 days. You don't say. You were so much cuter back then. Mion's gaze started in my chest and dropped straight down, focusing on the point between my legs. Oh good, she's also a pervert. So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. I've grown quite splendidly. You'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache now. Oh God! Is this Keiichi or is this Mion? I don't know. This might be Keiichi talking. Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem, though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Oh, good. I imagine we had just made a playful pass on Mion. Don't say next time. Right now is just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty you could smell it fouling up the morning air before. Mion sure does act like an old man some— That was all Mion! Okay, that was all Mion. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal! Hope you don't regret it! As my hand reached for my fly, Rena began to ramble in a near panic. Okay, that was Keiichi. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. How was what? Oh, okay, seeing the city again. Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing the topic to something more befitting the pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral. I didn't have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for. You're not listening at all. I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have any time to look around in toy stores. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know. It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here, after all. Is this about games again, Mi-chan? Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled. Yep, I wanted Kei-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see? Westport being short for Western Imported Games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You can just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, I guess I have to now. I'm going to get another game full of hot action. this time, I'd like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Rena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games. I like her! If there's a game you think I'd understand, let me play too. Of course! If Keiichi is up for it, I should warn you though, we're pretty tough. Just what I want. I play all sorts of games. I don't intend to lose. Whoa! Then we'll let you in on the group this time, I guess. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink, and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Rena laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I'd moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I felt if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it'd probably be about right for this place. And Ouija may actually show up. So might Ouija, but that would be a different thing entirely. Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels, and they all study in the same class. That sounds confusing. That sounds like it could be very difficult to actually teach. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building here and they had actual separate classes. However, it seems something happened that made it a single class, and now it's stayed that way out of tradition. Excuse me. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I'd already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that it was a bad thing. Mion, who'd been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead. Right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. We have traditions, apparently. Yeah, something happened that caused the school to switch to one room. Too bad. I wasn't going to fall for that again. Oh, pranks. To think you'd give up the lead here. You meant for this to be a test of my skills. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face, and what is with that music? Boom, 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 boom. But what is it, you guys? Step back, Rena. It's dangerous. She's here. Huh? Then Satoko-chan is... Her name was Satoko Hoju. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up just over that. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap. A blackboard eraser wedged in the door. It's too obvious. Satoko! A haughty laugh came from beyond the door. Excellent, Kei-chan. I guess that means you win this round. No, this is Satoko we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such intricate traps since the day I was transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you least expect it, she strikes. No escape. No time to relax. By the looks of it, the eraser is normal. No rocks or anything in it. I took a pretty heavy hit from a blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. I don't know what's wrong with this town. So then, why don't you just open the door and let it drop? That's what it is. That's what Satoko was after, making me focus my attention upward. So as I lifted my hand to the door, there were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. A potent and terrifying trap. Concealed by using the blackboard eraser. An impressive combination, Satoko. But in the end, nothing more than the trivial machinations of a child. Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. And immediately got covered in water from the bucket that was placed up there, right? I felt something strange at my ankle. It was similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching on my... Nope! Tripwire! By the time I realized she had me, hook, line, and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner. Keiichi, watch out! Instinctively reacting to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor. Ow! 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 An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining the situation had I landed square on it. My, what do we have here? A fair morning to you, Keiichi-san. Aren't we a lively one this morning? Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual traps, Satoko. I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning. You little... Ow, ow, ow. It seemed I'd inadvertently sprained my back a little when I landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. A small hand gently rubbed my head. Pain, pain, go away. The small, dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head. Child Yuri? Oh crap. You didn't sprain your back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain disappears. I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. Yay, Rika-chan! Good morning! Good morning to you, Rena! A good morning to all! Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. And a bow around her neck. Or someone's hands are going to be around mine. Probably, the way this is going. This could be a school for the insane, yes. It was infectious. Rena, Mion, and I all bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko. I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact. I am the very model of a good girl. A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps. Nothing but lies and slander! Apparently they're picking up a vocabulary in this school. Exactly what proof? Wah! I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. Oh, good! Good, we're physically threatening the child. Go us. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much harder to deal with. I am S-O-R-R-Y. Try saying that. If you won't say it, I cocked my index finger on my... Cocked? Cocked my index finger on my thumb. Okay. Getting ready to flick her upside the head. Okay. Letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead. I've just never heard of someone calling that cocking their finger on their thumb before. I'm against violence. You don't even have any proof. Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half. Eek! Stop! Get away from me, you beast! Don't say that in a way people misunderstand. Dude, you're picking her up by the collar and threatening to split her head open like a melon. A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt. She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days. Rika-chan is really just so... How can I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick. It doesn't bother me. You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting, yeah. Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess those two are the same age. Really? You would never guess that? They're the same size. So, them being the same age is not that surprising? I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan. Next time, set an even more amazing trap! Go on. Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Rena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon. How? Satoko-chan is crying! So cute! Why is she going kitty-faced over someone crying? Why is she going kitty-faced over that? I don't know about broken our back. I don't think broken our back was a likely outcome for a, high school kid tripping over a jump rope. You can't take them home. But they're so cute. Yeah, but that would have been her forehead. A concussion, yes. But not the back. At least the way I read it, the inkstone was planted right so we'd smack into it with our forehead. You can't, no matter how cute they are. But just for a bit, is fine. Is fine? God damn it. Well, we landed on our back. We twisted hard to avoid whatever we were going to fall on and then landed on our back. Rena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. What's wrong with everyone here? Everyone has issues. According to Mion, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tried to take them home. Object or person. Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up. Then I can just look. Just looking. That should be fine, right? Right? Rena swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena into the authorities. Forgive me, Rena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away. The teacher's coming! Quickly, clean everything up! Satoko, that inkstone is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtacks stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. A few thumb pricks is a bigger problem than a possible concussion. Okay, it's our protagonist, he doesn't use his brain anyway. Fair enough. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Even though Satoko was the one who'd set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up. We made it in time! Rise! Attention! Mion gave out the morning commands. It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally, she ends up spending all of her time with the younger kids. Rena and Mion, being in the highest grade in the class, end up doing mostly self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies. You're a pretty good teacher, Keiichi-kun. Easy to understand. Rena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. This is somewhat true. I mean, there's a famous saying out there, and it's been attributed to just about everyone, but if you cannot explain your problem using very simple words, you do not really understand it. You know, if you don't understand the subject well enough to be able to break it down into very simple terms, you don't really understand it well enough to be teaching it. So while you're teaching us, you're getting in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there'll be trouble later on. With these marks. It's not like I'm aiming to go on to a prestigious school. I'll be fine as long as I pick up what I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Okay, I think we've narrowed this down to they're not quite in high school yet, but they're very close. So the equivalent of 7th and 8th graders, I think. So 12 to 14 range. At least that's what it seems like. Unless you're talking about the entrance exams for college. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different time of relax than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams. Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too. You're such a good and honest kid, Rena. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school. What? Thanks so much. Especially you, Rena. Fuck you, Mion. Private lessons. Just the two of us. Private lessons? A puff of smoke, shaped like a halo, popped out of Rena's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play about that next time. I'm sure you would. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question. So, in the city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into university. So you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. Okay, they are high school studying to get into entrance exams for university. Fair enough. While knowing that, this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Out here, you can get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. But really? Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock. That's right! There aren't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out with an exam. If anyone can get into university, then there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know stuff that's common knowledge. This old geezer thinks that, instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing more meaningful things. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom. Kei-chan, we're done! We're done! It's our wonderful lunchtime! That doesn't mean done, that means halfway through the day. In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the command that signaled the end of the morning period. Keiichi-kun, let's have lunch! I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly at me. All right, let's eat! There seemed to be different cliques, even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. The level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well. You said you had girls and boys. I'm only noticing one boy so far. Keiichi-kun, hurry, hurry! Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone is together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes. Keiichi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crusts like some sort of destitute plebeian. Why don't you just show it to us? Come now. Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. Well then, Representative Me, give us the signal to start. At first this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may all have been different. In this case, one gender. One person with a different gender. But we were all friends. Let's eat! The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully through the classroom. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. For I give off the scent of an alpha wolf who will rip apart the throat of the youngers. Or something. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls. Well, at least these girls aren't picky. They hang out with me after all. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As a fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today? My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch. My, how delicious! Oh, this taro is good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile. I saved some from dinner last night. By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like Mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold. They were done by hand with it. Carrot rosettes prepared by, what, an 8-year-old? Good God. Oh, no good. The purple-haired one with those eyes is wielding knives. Yeah. Let's, moving along. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing. She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing! Rika is quite exceptional in many ways. That's nothing for you to boast about. Rena's actually better at cooking than I am. Huh? Well, you know. It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunchbox constantly. Everyone liked this so much before, so I made a lot this time. It's good, I hope. It's got high marks for me. Ah, Mion, you're talking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena. But Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on. How did you like it? Isn't Rena-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiichi-san. I said that's nothing for you to boast about. You're not much different from Kei-chan, Satoko. Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? Satoko's face went pale. Hey, even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know. Of course I can! I really can! It's really hard for her to lie. Keiichi-kun, both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? No. That is not true. No, it's no. You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan, too. Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko. Well, let's just pretend it's a little home ec lesson. Now then, Satoko, what's this? Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon. But that's asparagus. Mion made eye contact with me, and within 0.3 seconds I had Rika-chan's mouth covered. Yeah, broccoli and cauliflower are amazingly easy to tell apart. No matter how you prepare them, unless it involves a lot of food dye. Even then, it's still fairly easy. Holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her two choices. She's pretty terrible. The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait, the green one is cauliflower. So which? Probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one's cauliflower? But the green one is, ooh. Do you really know which is which? How about you just give up? I'd expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal. I do know! I really do! Then answer the question! I know! She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. How cute! Rena entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. My God, what is wrong with everyone? Seriously! Rena was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered. What the hell? You got a little girl bawling over here and you're over there nuzzling her like a fucking cat. Why? Rena, do you need medication for something? What the hell? I'm sorry, I gotta take a moment with this. What the freaking hell? Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right now. It was that kind of a smile. Rena! Rena! Mimi is picking on me. Ah, cute, cute. It's okay, Rena. Oni-chan will take care of all those bad people who tease my little sister. Whish, boof, bam! It was like a flash of lightning. What was that? Just now! Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speeds, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. What? She went from nuzzling like cat to punching us? Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today, she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena. Aha! Okay then! Again I ask, what? We just got punched by Kitty Girl here. Why? Just, what? See, Satoko-chan? I took care of them. They're dead now. Cute. I want to take you home. Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. I don't know what this game is. And I'm not sure if I'm having regrets or not. The ever-loving hell is happening here. No matter what the day it held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance. Hey, Keiichi-kun, tomorrow do you have plans or anything? Or anything? I have boxing lessons. I'd like you to attend. Huh? It was such a direct question from Rena, and I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then would you do it more subtly? Rena saw me lost for words and realized that I'd misunderstood, and turned red as well. No, I didn't mean it like that. You see... So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rena's in a panic, and I have very little sympathy for her after she punched me in the goddamn face, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So it wasn't meant that way. Suddenly I have a whole lot less sympathy for the way he teases her. And a lot less sympathy for him for getting punched for teasing him. I think both of them deserve each other right now, really. Huh? Huh? Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection. Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Why? Mi-chan! Unable to hold it any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see, this old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Huh? What is it? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach, while Rena flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rena's hair. And then she punched me again. Kidding. Sorry. It was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. Huh? A joke? Since when? Since when? About halfway through. Halfway? So, Kei-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start? Huh? That means... It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see... Saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Rena? Huh? Oh, what were we talking about? It had been so long that Rena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. Hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school. Yes. So you see, tomorrow, we were thinking that Mi-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around. That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyway. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no, and this is why you will be single until college. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front. Keiichi-kun, you're not free perhaps? Perhaps? Oops. Accidentally moved my mouse wheel and that lets me see the press. Okay. What does right click do? Okay. While Mion and I had a rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologize. I'm free. Great! The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now! Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Rena, isn't there? Is someone jealous? Oh God, please say that this isn't a jealousy thing. It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rena! Maybe it should just be the 2 of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind. Huh? Whoa! If Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then... I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Maebara. It'd be great if the 2 of us go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rena? If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe. Maybe. Don't you ignore me too, Rena. I'll tell everyone how you 2 disappeared into the hotel district together. Ow! Did she just punch Mion? Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow's gonna be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan, bye! Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion sprawled out on the ground. She did indeed just haul off and punch Mion. My God! There was a welt on her face. Hey, Anonymous. So, this is Higurashi when they cry. We are a dude named Keiichi, who is in indeterminate school age, but somewhere in the high school level. and who has been at this very, very backwards town that doesn't have ice cream parlors or arcades even, somewhere in Japan. And he's been here for a whole month, and he goes to a school where all the students, no matter what age are all, go to the same class. And the two main girls he hangs out with, one is Rena, which is the, I guess, airhead might be a good way to describe her, because she seems constantly lost and she doesn't really catch on to what's going on quickly. And then you have Mion, who is older than everyone else and is Mew. She is Mew, kind of. And Rena has an interesting quirk in that she tries to take anything cute, whether it's a person or a thing, and she tries to take it home. And if it's cute, she starts acting like a cat and will start nuzzling it. And if you continue to make fun of a cute thing, she will straight off deck you. And if you make enough fun of her, apparently, she will straight up deck you too. So that's what's happening here. And, yeah, Keiichi is a jerk, and I eagerly await the chainsaw that awaits his face. So anyway, there was a welt on her face. That's kind of where we are now. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Oh yeah, we started with a murder-suicide with a baseball bat. There were no graphics of this on screen, but it was just a guy... I'm guessing... a guy talking to what seemed like he was beating a girl in the head with a baseball bat and talking to her and forgiving her, and then he beat his own head in with the baseball bat. I think that's what happened. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour, involving murder-suicides. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see your debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Rena. You need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should... This old geezer will root for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. Looks like we ended another segment. It also said this game is actually difficult. So far it has been... You have received new tips. Okay, we've received tips. What are the tips? So, Rena, we're the same age? Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too. So they're exactly the same age. Almost. I don't know. I don't know how you have difficulty. The game just said it was difficult. Hey now, it would be weird if we were the same age but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. So they are talking about the same Western zodiac, not the same Chinese. Huh? Huh? Oh, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. What month were you born, by the way, Keiichi-kun? I'm July. Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? God, this is going to be like that episode of Gravity Falls where it turned out Mabel was like 1 millimeter taller than Dipper. Heh. Don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month. Huh? Huh? Why? Why? Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she didn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her to her panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun. I can't help myself. And this is why you get punched regularly. So that means you were born in April, Kei-chan? Right on. Too bad, Rena. I'm already far older than Rena. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me, Chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I wanted to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. Me-chan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grades so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? Keiichi-tun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. Yes. Yes, let's not go there. Please don't go there. I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. How? Stop it! I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why this school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building's being rented from the forestry services after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It was probably a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend school in the city. That's pretty far, though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital, and head towards the pediatrics department? I don't know which war. What? This is so far? I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rena's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya... Okinomiya? Okinomiya, something like that. rented out the building from the forestry services, and are attending this pseudo-schoolhouse right here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Oh, I totally agree with Rena on this one. Yes, that's right. It is so hard to tell who's talking. Yes, that's right, that's right. Let's try our best. All of you, try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. I don't know why Mion refers to herself as old geezer and old man. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future's bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just move to Keiichi where he works forever. But what do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey! You're too loud! Be quiet during self-study! The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. And by the way, this little demon child right here likes to set traps that have a chance of, I don't know, spraining ankles, spraining backs, and giving concussions to our protagonist, Keiichi. She set up a trap with a tripwire jump rope that should have had him fall and land his head on a massive inkstone. It is just as Mion says. This school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Okay, we don't have a uniform. It's only June, but it's already so hot. I can hear the Higurashi outside chirping, me, me, and at night there are mosquitoes. It might as well be summer already. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare! Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she was still a girl. Hey, she does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the shirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during this season, how steamy the crotch gets. Oh, that's appropriate conversation. It gets steamy. How? The girl was not imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice, refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Ha 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 ha! Thank you! They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's. We've been asking ourselves, what even is this game? For a while now. We haven't figured it out. But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being a one-piece. Oh, please don't get the kitty face and start glomping and nuzzling the kid. Please don't do that. I'd like to wear all your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. How? I had a feeling that Rena and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were quite a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. Yeah, this would not be Ishimaru approved, I don't think. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Why yes, Mion-san supplied them. Mi-chan's relative runs a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you ask those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then. That Mion probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. Can we say second-hand clothing store anymore? What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools that they know nothing about? Infiltration. Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I think it just got a lot clearer. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like that shop makes much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion says it'll be a big hit and become a great store. With such conviction. A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. With certain markets, yes. I don't get it. Okay. So, these are tips, it says? Any more? No, just those two. I don't know if a certain aquarium would. So let's go and save now that we made it to this. End of chapter 1. That is literally the end of chapter 1 of this game, even though this is chapter 1. Yeah, this is Higurashi When They Cry, chapter 1, Onikakushi.